Have you wondered what actually happens during a Lotus Light Reiki session with a master practitioner? I'd like to explain this to you in two ways. First, from the perspective of the master practitioner, and then from the person receiving the Reiki. In Lotus Light Reiki, the primary responsibility for a master practitioner is to connect with the Lotus Light Reiki energy. And Lotus Light Reiki master practitioners are trained in a special technique that they use to actually make that connection and really become one with that Lotus Light Reiki energy, which brings them to a very high frequency of light. And they have a light field that emanates from them, because as they are slowing their breath and using their technique to make the connection, their brain is slowing down, it's calming down, moving out of the thinking and analytical mind into the quiet mind. And when the mind quiets down, then the brain and the central nervous system come in sync with each other. So everything in the physical form, in the mental bodies, in the emotional bodies, calms down. And at the same time, their heart chakra is opening. So the brain, the central nervous system, and the heart chakra are all in sync, and they come into heart coherence. And in that heart coherence state, they emanate a field, a healing field of high vibrational energy around the recipient who is receiving, and they hold that. That is their primary responsibility. So if a Lotus Light Reiki master practitioner practices anything, it's really getting into heart coherence and holding that particular state. Because in a state of heart coherence, the energy field that emanates from you changes biology. It creates a field which is really starting to shift and heal. So they hold that for the person that is receiving. The person that is receiving is must come to the table, so to speak, with the desire in their heart to heal and with the will to actually heal. And if they can do that, and they also calm themselves down, because as the energy is coming in and flowing with them, with their presence, then they begin to sense that. And the Lotus Light Reiki energy begins opening them up, making their entire energy field very receptive. The master practitioner uses a technique that they're trained in to actually open, first of all, it stimulates the pineal gland, which needs to be stimulated for the third eye and the higher chakras to be accessible. So it stimulates the pineal gland of the recipient, the person, the individual on the table, and it makes them accessible to the higher chakras, which brings in higher energies, which they have the ability to make use of. And while they are on the table, the Lotus Light energy and the master practitioner is helping to open up their energy field, open up their chakras, open up the meridians, helping the energy to flow, which makes their entire state, mental, emotional, and physical, makes it very receptive to change, receptive to the energy, receptive to healing and shifting. And it is up to them, not on a conscious level, but on a soul level, on a spirit level, on a heart level, based on their desires. They shift and come into coherence with the master practitioner and the energy that is emanating. So the master practitioner and the individual receiving Reiki are really one in their energy and in their desire for healing and shifting and transformation. And the two together are creating this beautiful field, this biofield that the recipient, who is now has a very open energy field, has the ability to use that energy as much as they desire, as much as they need. And that energy will stay with them for a while, at least until their mental state maybe dips into worry or anxiety or fear. And then those particular thought and emotion forms are patterns that actually vibrate at a particular rate, and it actually lowers their energy field. So again, energy is really everything in today's world of healing. Holistic health is rapidly changing its point of view. There is actually a very conscious shift taking place for the holistic community and for the holistic health system to understand that energy, frequency of energy, and the vibration rate are really optimal. They are the essence of healing. And in Lotus Light Reiki, the session approaches raising the frequency, raising the light, creating a biofield, an energy field that really shifts the biology and begins to calm and quiet the mind, which promotes healing. So it approaches things a little bit differently. Rather than going in and placing hands and looking for obstacles, looking for blocks, looking for closed chakras so that we can open, and the goal being calming and balancing. In the Lotus Light Reiki session, there is a process taking place that actually works in the opposite direction, works with energy, frequency, vibration, light, recognizing that in creating the terrain that is light-filled and high frequency, healing begins to naturally pop. It begins to flow, energy flows. Naturally, higher states of emotion enter the recipient, enter the master practitioner. It's a very, very important understanding of how Lotus Light Reiki actually works. Of course, the individual on the table is going to feel relaxed, they're going to feel calm, they're going to feel balanced, which is naturally everyone's desire. But there's so much more that is at play in the Lotus Light Reiki session. If you're interested in learning more about Lotus Light Reiki, whether you're a traditional Usui trained practitioner or you have no training at all, we have classes. Our next one is April 25th and 26th. There's still a couple of spots open in that one. We may train later this year, but it really is going to depend on the circumstances in the world. But anytime you want to, you can reach out to me and ask questions from my website, info@KarenAKovacs.com. Thank you.